My name is Pam Maxey. I live at Hillcrest Acres Manufactured Home Community in Kalamazoo. Hillcrest Acres is owned by RHP Properties, which is a multi-million-dollar private equity firm. They own over 50 manufactured home communities in Michigan alone, and they are one of the biggest private equity owners of manufactured housing communities in the country. I have lived here with my family for 8 years in a community of 150 home sites, approximately half of which at the moment sit vacant. Over the 8 years, our rent has increased every year while the living conditions decrease. Over recent years, more and more streetlights throughout the park quit working. I had asked management many times to replace them, to no avail. I had given up asking until December of 2023. On the morning of December 14th, when all the children were walking to the bus stop in the pitch dark, a drug dealer was carjacked at gunpoint just paces away from my home. The police told me that the people involved didn't live in our community, but they drove out of the way to come into our community because, and I quote, "it was so dark and isolated." I asked for streetlights one more time after that, and we still do not have them. In 2018, my neighbor's home burned down. Everyone was all right, but the home was a total loss. 5 years later, it still hadn't been removed. In March of 2023, I filed a complaint with the township asking them to force RHP Properties to remove it. RHP did remove it, but they then retaliated by issuing a long series of arbitrary lease violations against my family and most all of my neighbors. And this is common practice here. The day after we passed out flyers last week, they came through issuing lease violations for things such as a ladder stored outside, in the absence of a shed, or a planter on somebody's porch that had no plant in it. Residents are harassed to the point of eviction, while at the same time, RHP Properties does nothing about the upwards of 30 blighted homes in our community that present numerous health, safety, and building code violations. In June 2023, a close-by neighbor informed me there was sewage coming up into his home from his bathroom sink, tub, and toilet. He informed park management, and they told him that even though it was coming up from the ground, it was up to him to fix it. So in the meantime, it was left to bubble out of a pipe onto the ground. The next month, I was walking my dog, and I discovered a sewer leak 1 street behind me. It was bubbling up out of a pipe that was sticking up in a vacant lot, and it was running down into the neighbor's yard. So we've had numerous sewer backups over the years, and now, we have serious questions about the quality of our water here. So I reported this to the Kalamazoo County Health Department in July of 2023, and I learned that no government agency can come into our community and test our water. The Health Department told me to call the Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, the EGLE. And the EGLE explained to me that yes, they do oversee all community water supplies in Michigan, but Hillcrest has its own water supply system and is excluded from the way the state defines a community water supply. Hillcrest has what is called customer site piping, and this means that the community owner is responsible for assuring safe, potable waters getting to the residents, and they're abiding by the Safe Drinking Water Act. The sad fact is that our community owner just doesn't care. All of the people that I did talk to at EGLE and the health department, they were very sympathetic and helpful, but their hands are really tied here. We have extremely low water pressure through our park, countless water leaks above and underground. We experience discolored water often, and here's a great example of this. This water here comes from White Lake Community Estates in White Lake. This is their water on a day-to-day basis here. And a lot of us experience the same thing. It ruins our appliances and our plumbing. It smells horrible. People report getting sick from it, so most of us just don't drink it. So we pay for this water that we cannot drink. Then we go out and we buy more water that we can drink. When I ask my neighbors why they not complain more, the common response is, well, because we have nowhere else to go. Their fear is real, and my fear is real too. I fully expect to face retaliation and harassment for giving this testimony and for talking to the media, but I will not stand by while my neighbors, many of whom are seniors and people with disabilities, get treated this way. I will not be quiet while this is happening to good people all over the state. And if you won't stand up for me, I hope you will please stand up for them. Senate Bills 486 through 490 would make modest, reasonable changes to try to help my neighbors and my family. I strongly support them, and I urge you to do the same, and I thank you very much for listening.